Hi, this is the first episode of Unravel with Isha 2.0, and today we have the amazing Neha Zoshi, who's worked at the kitchens of Le 15, Au Pedro, and even restaurant Akram in Paris. We recorded this conversation over Skype with her being in Goa and me being in Pune. And I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation because we had a lot of fun recording this podcast. I just wanted to say that I'm still learning on the go, and I hope you um, excuse the few mistakes that I make on this journey. And enjoy this podcast and enjoy the first episode. And I look forward to recording more podcasts and sharing them with you all. Yes.
Great.
No. Okay. It's recording.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can
Okay.
see that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Neha. How are you?
Hi, I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good, and it's so good to have you on this new platform that we've just created, which is
I'm so
basically
happy to
Skype.
be here. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
So
still cool.
so you're in Goa right now, and
Yes.
please tell me about what. Please tell us about what you do and why you do what you do, and why do you enjoy it?
Okay, so basically, I am a pastry chef by profession. I've worked in kitchens for the last 2 years. I changed my career. I did a bunch of things before that. And right now, I am working with a newly launched cafe, coffee roastery, and bakehouse called Subco in Mumbai. And yeah, I'm handling operations for them. So I'm sort of like overseeing the kitchen, and then I'm also doing a lot of back end work, including like inventory and managing the staff and sorting out like day to day operations, just basically making sure that the place functions. And yeah, like I'm in Goa right now because that's where my home is, and I've come back down for the lockdown. So
That's really
yeah.
cool. And how do you find just being back in Goa in quarantine? How has that been for you? Are you
So
enjoying just being back in Goa right
So
now?
coming back was a slightly difficult decision because I was working till about 2 days before the lockdown was announced. And so once we shut the cafe in Bombay, I wanted to come back, but then I was unsure because I had been working and my work involves meeting people on a daily basis, and I had interacted with a lot of people. So I was just a little scared for my parents, but then they felt being in Goa would definitely be a safer option than Bombay. And so, after a lot of debate, I took a very scary flight because I was basically petrified that I would catch the virus. And then I came back home and I was sort of self isolating for about 2 weeks. But overall, I think just being in Goa is nice. One, because it's home for me. Uh, and two, because, yeah, like it's definitely, there's a lot more like open space and just breathability as compared to Bombay. So, yeah, and it's great to be around family at this time
Family,
because
absolutely.
it's such an uncertain period. And I think more than anything, like the couple of days when I was in Bombay and everything was so uncertain, I was just always, there was like a nagging feeling inside, which was like,
Right.
what is going to happen? You're just like anxious. Like I had 2 days where I had like the craziest mood swings possible. Like, I mean, PMS was a piece of cake as compared to the mood swings I had in those 2 days. Seriously, like I would be crying 1 minute on the phone to a friend of mine, and then I would like, the friend would pacify me, and I would be like, okay, cool, this is good. I'm going to stick it out in Bombay. Things are going to be fine. Then I would be like super happy for like half an hour. Then I would read the news again, and then I would be like, oh my God, what am I doing? What's going to happen? And just
Yeah,
crash
and
again. So
absolutely. I've been talking to so many people who've just stopped reading the news and who've just like literally isolated themselves from any kind of news because it's after a point it gets really difficult to listen to the same
yeah.
just negativity again and again. And yeah, but how is quarantine going on for you? Like what does your normal day look like?
So the first couple of weeks were extremely like I I I don't know what the word would be, like maybe like haphazard in a way,
Yeah.
because there was just no semblance of routine, and I am a very like organized, planned person. Like I wake up in the morning and I know what my day is going to look like mentally. Like I have to go to work, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to go out. So I kind of just visualize my day, and coming back home and then having nothing to do, it could have gone completely crazy haywire where I would be waking up at 6 a.m., sleeping at 6 a.m., waking up at like lunchtime, whatever. But I didn't want to do that. Like, I didn't want to go down that route. So from the time I came home, I tried to stick to a routine of sleeping by like 1 a.m. latest and waking up by 9 no matter what. I have obviously binged a couple of shows some nights and slept really late, but I would just say a couple of times for now. The first, I think, 3 weeks or no, 4 weeks were really, really, I mean, there was not much to do. I would like try to read for a couple of hours, try to space out what kind of content I was watching, like not just binge watch rerun shows, which I've already seen
Right.
like 5 times, but watch something new, watch something informative, just learn something. I would spend like an hour reading up like cooking books and things related to my profession. And yeah, just the rest of the time was, I mean, on the phone or like playing games or whatever on the phone again, which I mean, I try to restrict, and I'm glad that I have restricted that. But for the past 2 weeks, we've restarted operations at Subco in Bombay. So we're doing delivery and takeaway. So I'm sort of helping to coordinate everything from here. So it's quite interesting because I'm basically handling operations from here. So
Right.
orders come in and I coordinate them. So I have more work to do. I'm working between like 10 and 6, 6:37, not the whole day, obviously, because I mean, I'm working remotely and there's only that much you can do when you're not present at a
Present
restaurant.
at the particular place. Yeah.
Yeah, but it keeps me occupied at least through the day. I'm also doing something very interesting, which so basically before I got into the kitchen, I did a fellowship called Teach for India. So I was teaching in a school in Mumbai, and that was very exciting. But I never really got back to teaching. I mean, I obviously moved on in life and got into a completely different career path. But there was this company I used to work with to do a little bit of content, and they had to move their model online
Right.
because of the lockdown and schools being shut. So they actually got in touch with me, and I've started doing like volunteer to take a couple of classes for them online. So I kind of got back to teaching. It's just 1 hour a day, and it's a basic English language with kids from all over the country. But it's a lot of fun because I just realized how much I'd missed teaching.
Teaching
So
and
yeah,
just the
I
connect that you have with kids
yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like you get, I mean, as much as people say that the kids learn from you, you also learn a lot from the
from
kids.
them.
And so it's a lot of fun, and I really look forward to that time in the day. So yeah, that's what I've been
That's
up
really
to.
cool. And
Yeah.
do you think there's like one new thing that you've experienced, or just one new thing that your day has now that you really wish to continue, or you really wish to take forward into what we'll experience as the new normal after life
So I
slowly
think
moves on?
one thing, I mean, now more than ever has been like just a feeling of being grateful in general. Like
Right.
I know it sounds very, very cliched, but
No, but it makes
that's
sense.
the only thing I kept thinking of when I was coming back home is that I can come back home. That, you know, like I have the means to come back home, and that I have a home, and that I arrived safely, and I don't have to worry about something like where my next meal is coming from. Like, sure, I won't have something fancy, or oh, if I feel like eating Pringles, but oh my God, Pringles are out of stock. But I have food. Like, that's not even,
Right.
like a question. And so it just made me feel grateful for a lot of things in life in general, where like what I have, and also kind of made me realize that I don't know, like, I guess in life, sometimes you're super busy, just like with work and with your routine, you get so caught up in things and you lose touch with a lot of things that really matter. And, you know, like things in the long run, like, I mean, during this lockdown, I have very randomly reconnected with three of my friends. Like, we've always been friends, but they moved abroad, and
Right.
it was just like it wasn't because we didn't want to stay in touch. It was just that it was never convenient, as someone was working or someone was doing something else or traveling or whatever.
Or just
And
different
then
time zones.
yeah, and then suddenly we found ourselves all locked down at home, and we still managed to make like a weekly call possible with different time zones. And and crazy time zones like Australia, India, and Europe. So like that's
Yeah.
like totally,
Literally
like
across the world.
a,
Yeah.
yeah, like a 12-hour time difference almost. But yeah, we actually managed to do it, and I think that's something that should continue. And in general, reconnecting with people, just being grateful for like not taking people for granted, I guess, in
Granted.
a way.
And even the small things that we experience day to day in our day-to-day lives, not taking those for granted is something that,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Like we literally took going out for granted.
granted, literally stepping out of
And
the house for granted.
yeah, like that I won't have to, that like I can just go and buy a coffee from somewhere or go to the supermarket at any point of time, or not be concerned whether I'm buying like, 10 eggs or 30 eggs. But no, suddenly now
Right.
you had to, like, everything was limited. I mean,
Limited.
the
Yeah.
first we in Goa, it was pretty bad the first week I was here, because Goa kind of shut everything down in the
Yeah.
first week. So even like getting, I mean, there were like 2 days in between where we didn't have bread, we didn't have butter, nothing was available. We weren't allowed to get out of our houses technically. It was like a ghost town. So that was a little bit like daunting initially, because I was just like, where are we going to get food from? Um, but and then, the realization sank in that also, okay, we are getting food that, like, I mean, I know that eventually we will figure out a way to get food, but
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
we are
But
not able to get it, then
think
what about
about,
all the
yeah.
other people who are way, way, way less privileged, and what's going to happen to them? And yeah, so it's just been a very, very, I guess, like, just a period of learning to be grateful for what you have more than
Yeah.
anything.
Absolutely. And before we started talking, you were telling me about the philosophy behind Subco and just the different, the logo and the languages that the logo is in. And just tell us more about that. I feel like that was really interesting.
Yeah, sure. So, Sabco is a really interesting concept. It's a newly launched coffee roaster and bakehouse in Bandra, and I'm working with them. And so, Sabco is basically a play on words. So, the philosophy of the cafe is to elevate the coffee and sort of create an identity for the Southeast Asian, or like the Indian subcontinent rather. So that's where Sabco comes from. And then Sabco also means for all. So like that's inclusivity is again one of the core philosophies of the company. So it's sort of from the subcontinent for all. So that's like the tagline. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool also. And before we end this, is like, what's your one hope for the new normal? What do you hope that people take away from quarantine, basically?
I think two things. One is, I would say that this is the first time all of us have, I guess, collectively taken a break from work, at least for the first few days, most of us rather, and have just had some time to pause and think and realize that a lot of the things that happen in life, like, you're just going super fast paced, you're going to work, coming back home every day, doing the same thing again and again, your routine gets set, and you just like forget to stop and smell the flowers, if at all. So, like,
Right.
I think people have just realized that, appreciate the smaller things, take time out for your family. I hope people, like, I mean, I've spoken to a lot of people who've told me things like this, that they're glad that they could spend time with their parents or reconnect with people or learn something new. And I hope that they, like, all of us as humanity continues to like take this forward and sometimes just pause from a fast-paced life and just realize that there are things more important than just working and money. And yeah, like, you take time out for that. And second, I hope that we can all just be more empathetic. Like, I hope society as a whole is more empathetic, because if we've learned one thing during this period, it's that this virus doesn't discriminate. So it doesn't matter who
Yeah.
you are,
Yeah.
how much
Mm,
money you have, or how
basically,
much you
yeah.
don't have. Like, we're all literally, stuck in the same situation. And yeah, we may have different, whatever, like, tools to deal with it, but we're all in the same
Yeah, we're
situation.
experiencing the same kind of anxiety, the same kind of
Yeah,
fear.
exactly. And I think that I hope that people can just like learn to, and I think a lot of people during this period have been really understanding, have gone out of their way to help others, and I just hope that continues, and that's something that people keep with them. And yeah, I guess those are two things. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and just everything with
Thank
all
you
of
so much for
us.
having me. I'm so glad to be a part of this, and I'm very excited for you to do more such conversations and record more such things. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's actually very fun to record them also. So I'm glad it's fun for I hope it's fun for everybody.
I hope so too. Yeah, I hope we weren't
Yeah.
too boring.
I don't think we were. Okay, we can continue talking. I'll stop recording and then we can.
Sure.
Um, I think you'll have the recording with you.